Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to Germany. Well, sort of.
Virtually, at least.
Right. We'll be exploring the world of empowerment coaching through the eyes of,
The Würzburg Academy.
yes. They have this really in-depth brochure about their program, and we're going to, well, kind of unpack it all for you.
Yeah, give everyone the inside scoop.
Exactly. So, first things first. What is empowerment coaching, really? I feel like we hear that term thrown around a lot. But this academy seems to have a very specific take on it.
Absolutely. They actually emphasize psychological empowerment, which I think is fascinating.
Psychological empowerment. Okay, now you have to break that down for me. What does that even mean?
It goes beyond just, like the rah-rah motivation stuff.
Okay, so not just like a pep talk.
Yeah, not just a pep talk. It's deeper than that. It's about really feeling like the work you do has meaning, believing in your own competence.
So feeling capable.
Exactly. And also feeling in control, like you have the power to make choices.
Ah, so self-determination.
Yes. And then seeing the actual impact you're making. Those are the 4 key elements they highlight.
Meaning competence, self-determination, and influence.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things combined create this, like, inner drive.
Exactly.
Wow.
They actually say it leads to greater motivation and proactivity, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I can see how that would be more sustainable than just, like, a temporary boost of enthusiasm.
It's about tapping into something deeper.
Now, I'm curious about the name, the Würzburg Academy. It's not just a random city they picked, is it?
Not at all. They're playing on a bit of history here.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, the Würzburg School of Psychology, it was a pretty big deal over a century ago, known for its innovative research.
So by calling themselves the Würzburg Academy, they're sort of aligning themselves with that legacy.
Exactly. It suggests they're not just about, trendy self-help techniques. Their approach is rooted in solid psychological principles.
That definitely adds some weight to their name. Okay, so let's dive into the program itself. What do they actually teach you?
Well, they have a pretty structured curriculum. It's broken down into 7 modules.
7 modules. That sounds intense.
It is pretty comprehensive. They cover the basics, the core coaching skills.
Okay, so like active listening, all that.
Right, but then they go into more specialized techniques, too.
Like what? Give me an example.
So they have a whole module on neurocoaching with embodiment.
Okay. I'm going to need you to unpack that one. Neurocoaching with embodiment.
Basically, it uses the connection between our minds and bodies, our thoughts, emotions, physical sensations. It all ties in.
So it's not just about talking things out.
Right. They also use EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing.
Well, I've heard of that. Isn't that used for trauma?
It was originally,
No.
but it can be used for other things too, like helping people get past emotional blocks or limiting beliefs.
Interesting. So they're pulling from different approaches then.
Yeah, it's pretty integrative.
Now, what about practice? Do they actually give you a chance to coach real people?
Absolutely. They emphasize hands-on experience.
Oh, good. Because what's the point of learning all this theory if you can't actually use it?
Right. And they even provide the clients for you to work with.
Really? So you don't have to go out and find your own?
Exactly. Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, no kidding. Less pressure, too, I bet.
I'd imagine. Plus, they have these intervision sessions where you can connect with other participants online.
Oh, like a virtual support group.
Sort of. You can share your experiences, ask questions.
Bounce ideas off each other?
Exactly.
And did I see something about layer supervision?
Yeah, that's optional. It's more personalized feedback and guidance from experienced coaches.
Ah, so like one-on-one mentorship.
Precisely.
Sounds like they've got it pretty well covered then.
I'd say so.
Okay, but what makes this program truly unique? What sets it apart from all the other coaching programs out there?
Well, for one, this emphasis on psychological empowerment, it's not just a module. It's like their core philosophy.
So it's woven into everything they teach.
Exactly. And they don't just stick to one coaching approach. They integrate multiple styles.
Oh, so it's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Not at all. Solution-focused, systemic, even drawing from things like transactional analysis.
So they're giving you a broader range of tools to work with.
Right. Plus, they really emphasize fast, effective interventions.
Oh, interesting. Like acknowledging that people are busy, they don't have all the time in the world.
Exactly. Making the most of the time you have.
Smart. And I love that they offer the program in a hybrid format.
In person and online.
Yeah, giving people more flexibility.
Definitely a huge plus. So much learning happens online these days.
True. Okay, so we've got a program grounded in solid psychology, a mix of approaches, Hands-on practice, a focus on efficiency.
Plus the flexibility of the hybrid format.
Sounds pretty impressive, right?
So far, so good. But let's see what else this brochure has in store for us.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We're getting into all the details of this empowerment coaching program. And I have to say, I'm really intrigued by this hybrid format they offer.
Yeah, in person and online at the same time. That's pretty innovative.
But how does that actually work? Do the online participants feel like they're missing out?
Well, the brochure says they've been doing this hybrid thing for a while now, so they've had time to, iron out any kinks.
So it's not just some pandemic-era quick fix they threw together.
No, not at all. They use, special hybrid technology so everyone can interact seamlessly.
Oh, that's cool. Like everyone feels equally involved, whether they're there in person or online.
Exactly. And they even have facilitators specifically for the online folks, making sure they're, included in everything.
That's really thoughtful. Okay, so let's talk about something else that's probably on everyone's mind. The application process. Is it, super competitive to get in?
Well, the brochure lays it out pretty clearly. First, you submit the application form, basic info, experience, all that.
Okay, standard stuff. But then they also have a personal interview, right?
Right. They want to get to know you, not just your resume. See if you're, a good fit for the program.
Makes sense. They're looking for people who are really passionate about this, not just, checking a box on their to-do list.
Exactly. People who resonate with their approach to empowerment coaching.
So, yeah, probably a bit selective, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It speaks to the quality,
True. Okay, so now for the big question, the cost. How much does this all set you back?
The brochure says 7,490 euros, but there is an early bird discount if you sign up, in advance.
Oh, always good to be an early bird. But still, That's a pretty penny. What would you say to someone who's, hesitant about that price tag?
Well, you have to consider the value, right? It's a year-long program, comprehensive training, not just a weekend workshop.
True. You're getting 21 days of in-person training, all your materials, ongoing support from the trainers, and let's not forget those perks. Yeah, they mentioned lunch and snacks, even dinner on one of the training days.
Nice. They take care of you.
They do. And you're also joining this community of coaches, building connections, networking. So yeah, it's an investment, but with the potential for, significant returns.
For sure. Shifting your perspective from expense to investment. That's key.
Now, they also mentioned something called Coaching Compact. What's that all about?
Oh, that's a completely online training program, like a condensed version.
Ah, so if the hybrid format or the year-long commitment is too much, there's another option.
Exactly. For people who need more flexibility,
I like that. They're catering to different needs. Okay, so enough about the logistics. Let's hear from the people who've actually gone through this program.
The brochure has some great testimonials.
Oh, good. I always find those so helpful. Real people, real experiences.
One person said Coach-Ausbildung, the program leader, is highly professional, structured, adding value on all levels.
High praise indeed. Sounds like a great instructor.
Another one highlighted the practical exercises, said they felt confident applying what they learned in real-world situations.
That's what you want to hear. Not just theory, but actual skills you can use.
Right. And someone even mentioned feeling well-prepared to offer coaching online. Because, that's a big thing these days.
It is. The world's going digital. You have to adapt.
Exactly. So it seems like they're striking that balance, traditional coaching principles, but with a modern twist.
The best of both worlds. Now, speaking of Coach-Ausbildung, the brochure mentions he's pretty involved in the wider coaching community.
Yeah, he's a member of all sorts of organizations, EASC, BDP, ICF.
Wow, he's really plugged in.
He is. Brings a lot of credibility to the program.
Definitely. Now, remember how we talked about the Würzburg School of Psychology?
Yeah, the historical connection.
I'm starting to see how that plays out in their approach. It's not just about, teaching techniques. It's about understanding human behavior on a deeper level.
Right. Drawing on that legacy of research, applying it to the field of coaching.
Makes their approach more, substantial.
Exactly. And they also emphasize new work principles.
Oh, yeah, that caught my eye too. What does that even mean in the context of coaching?
Well, new work is all about flexibility, autonomy, purpose, collaboration.
Okay, so moving away from those rigid, traditional work structures.
Right. And they're preparing coaches to work with clients who are, navigating those changes.
Because the world of work is definitely evolving.
It is. And coaches need to be ready to support people in that evolution.
It's not just about like climbing the corporate ladder anymore.
Exactly. It's about finding meaning, creating a work life that aligns with your values.
So this program is preparing coaches to be like guides in that process.
Exactly. And they're big on ethical practice, too. Confidentiality, boundaries, all that.
That's essential. You're dealing with people's lives here, their careers.
Right. And they also emphasize working within your scope of practice, seeking supervision when needed.
So it's not just like, here's your certificate, now go out and coach the world.
No, it's about ongoing learning, continuous growth, recognizing that being a coach is a journey.
I like that. So we've covered a lot of ground in this part. The practical stuff, the testimonials, their ethical stance.
And how they're incorporating those new work principles.
It's been quite a deep dive. But there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to explore.
And that's how all of this relates back to you, the listener, even if you're not planning to become a coach.
We have explored this empowerment coaching program in detail, but now it's time to bring it back to you, the listener. How can you apply these ideas even if you're not, planning to become a coach yourself?
That's the thing, right? These deep dives, we always find these nuggets of wisdom that go way beyond the specific topic.
He's like, yeah, we're talking about a coaching program, but these are really life skills we're talking about.
Exactly. Those 4 elements of psychological empowerment, meaning competence, self-determination, influence, those apply to everyone.
Yeah, not just aspiring coaches. Think about it like, have you ever felt stuck on a project? Like totally unmotivated?
Happens to the best of us.
Right. And it's probably because one of those elements was missing. Maybe the work felt pointless, or you didn't believe you could pull it off.
Or maybe you felt micromanaged, like you had no control.
Exactly. Or like your work didn't even matter, like it wasn't making a difference.
It's all connected.
And what I love about this program is that they give you concrete tools to address those things.
Yeah.
Not just identify the problem, but actually do something about it.
One that stood out to me was the multi-lemma method. It's for decision-making, when you're torn between different options.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It's like a way to break down those choices systematically.
Right. Weighing the pros and cons, but also considering your values, your goals.
It's a coaching technique, but honestly, I could use that in my own life.
Totally. How often do we get stuck in indecision, overwhelmed by all the choices?
All the time. And then there's Module 4, the one about developing a goal-oriented inner attitude.
Oh, that one's all about mindset. Recognizing that lasting change, it comes from within.
Right. It's not just about like taking action. It's about having the right attitude to support those actions.
They talk about the one-word method. You pick one word that embodies the mindset you need for a specific goal.
It's like a little reminder, a mental anchor.
Exactly. And they go into inner parts work, too.
Oh, yeah, that was fascinating.
It's like recognizing the different parts of ourselves, the critic, the perfectionist, the inner child.
I all have them. And they can really influence how we think and act.
Right. So the idea is to become aware of those parts, learn to work with them, instead of letting them control us.
It's like instead of fighting against those inner voices, you learn to understand them, maybe even make them work for you.
Exactly. And the mind-body connection, that's huge, too.
Module 5 was all about that, right? Embodiment-focused coaching.
Recognizing that our physical sensations, our emotions, our thoughts, they're all interconnected.
Yeah, sometimes we forget to listen to our bodies.
Right. They use techniques like EMDR, which can be really powerful for emotional processing.
But even without those specific techniques, just paying attention to your breath, your posture.
It can make a big difference. It's like tuning in to your body's wisdom.
And let's not forget those new work principles they kept talking about: flexibility, autonomy, purpose, collaboration.
It's like a whole new way of thinking about work and life, really.
It's about creating a work experience, a life experience that aligns with your values.
Exactly. So as we wrap up, what are your biggest takeaways? What will you take with you from this deep dive?
For me, it's realizing that empowerment, it's not some magical quality you either have or don't have. It's something you can develop.
Through practice, through awareness.
And while this program offers a structured approach, those core principles, we can all apply them in our own lives.
Absolutely. So think about it. Where in your life do you want to feel more empowered, more in control?
What small step can you take today to move in that direction?
That's something to reflect on. And we hope this deep dive has given you the food for thought, the inspiration to make those changes.
Until next time.